Hi, it's Michelle Johnson, Ifbb Pro, Team Beauty Fit Athlete, and coach for Team Knockouts. Today, my feature, Let's Talk, is going to discuss body types and how important it is to understand your body type so that you can effectively train and diet. The first body type is an ectomorph. This has a small skeletal frame, often naturally lean muscle mass, fast metabolism, and this person may find it difficult to gain weight. The mesomorph usually is more the medium build and frame. They have more athletic characteristics, they gain muscle easily, and they're not as naturally lean as an ectomorph. The endomorph, however, the frame may be very large, stocky, more of a solid type of build, stores fat easily, and has a slower metabolism. Now, there's also people describe things as the apple or the pear shape, and that often describes the shape of a woman, but some men may also fall into these configurations. So the apple is round, most of the fat is carried in the belly, they have shorter, less weight gain in the arms and legs, and then the pear shape naturally stores fat in the lower abdominals, lower hips, and upper hips, and then also the glute area and thighs. So can you train your body type just any which way? Well, you can, but if you don't have a tiny waist naturally, and that's not your frame, you're going to really struggle on a competition plan if it's not addressing what your body needs, and that's actually to create the illusion of a small waist by developing the lat muscles. So if you develop your rear delts and your lats, you're going to create the illusion of a smaller waist, and by tapering that with this illusion, you'll also want to drop your hips down just a little bit so that you get that nice hourglass. The idea that you can maximize your training according to your body type is something that's widespread in training communities because ectomorphs are suggested to have higher metabolisms and it's difficult for them to gain lean mass. They would be the ones that really need to try and train heavier and would avoid cardio. Doesn't this make sense? As long as the ectomorph manages their energy and their food stores and they eat enough, they should be able to grow some muscle. And so that's why understanding macros for the ectomorph is very important so that they understand how much protein they really need, carbs and fats in order to gain. The mesomorph, and the endomorphs would have to avoid more of the carbohydrates. They may be more prone to needing more cardio, and more circuit style weight training is more effective normally for this body type. It's different as far as weight gain and loss, again, depending on these body fat stores. So in general, if somebody is holding a lot of body fat, training heavy when you have muscle and you're putting, fat on top of this muscle and you're building out that muscle, you're just going to look thicker, and that's where people say they look bulky. So ideally, if they can do more circuit style training, they can bring their size down overall, and that seems to do the trick. So that's just a little tidbit. There's a lot more involved, but I thought I would just share some of my insights with body types and how I personally address them. Another thing I want to talk about is suit selection. If you're doing a show and you don't know what color to pick, and there are so many great options out there, I always say pick the color that you get the most compliments in. And also, you want to remember that on the national levels, the judges, what the rumor is, prefer darker colors overall. And if you notice, a lot of women with lighter hair color are going darker, and it seems that the judges overall prefer the darker hair colors, but that's just maybe a coincidence. But however, if you want to play it safe, just make sure that you're thinking of some of these strategies. And on that note, strategy. It's very important that you strategize. Every show that you do, you're exerting a lot of energy. It takes a lot of money and time for most people. So it's important that you think carefully and plan your shows well ahead. You don't want to say you're going to do a show and drop out. It's always best not to give yourself an out, not to quit, to follow through, and give yourself at least 16 weeks to develop your body, especially as an amateur, and then that final 12 weeks will be more focused on body fat reduction if you need it. and more leaning out along the way. But if you're already lean and you need muscle development, believe it or not, it's that muscular development that takes the most time. So 6 months to even a year of shaping your body is not unusual, and I think a lot of people are prematurely entering shows before that development is there, and they don't realize that over time things would shift and change, and maybe they would do better in their placements had they taken that time to do some homework or an off-season program, and a lot of women do take that for granted. So think carefully about each show that you do. I wouldn't do show to show to show to show. Every time you do a show, you're dehydrating your body, you're losing essential nutrients, and you're losing muscle. So it's good also at the end of the show season that you get blood work, and also at the start. Before someone recommends a bunch of supplements, I always like to encourage women, give me blood work. I want to see what's going on with your body before I just put you on all these random supplements. And also, at the end, it's good because you are depleting your body, as I said, that final phase, and you want to make sure everything's in balance, and then you start your off season bringing back in nutrients, bringing back in antioxidants. Calcium is very important to get, especially if you're over 35, and really nurturing your body post-show for a while in the off season is a great way to reset and continue to do the hard work that you need to do in order to be successful in this industry. Well, that's it for this edition of Let's Talk. I hope you found my information useful. If you'd like to reach out to me directly, it's michelle@michellefitness.com for my email, or you can go to my websites to learn more about my programs, michellefitness.com, teamknockouts.com. Thanks for watching.